Super cool radio.
Hey everyone, before we jump into the show, I want to tell you about our merch store on Threadless. Shop a wide variety of logos with multiple colors and sizes available for each design. Your support is greatly appreciated and helps us continue to make killer content like this episode. Please visit supercoolradio.threadless.com or the link in the description to shop now. Hello everyone! I am Matthew Thomas. This is Super Cool Radio. I am back here at Bardo's Lakeside Lounge in Elkhart, Indiana. My guest this time making his second appearance here on Super Cool Radio. He's the drummer for Smile Empty Soul. Please welcome Ty Del Rose.
How's it going, everybody? Glad to be here tonight in Elkhart, Indiana at Bardo's Lakeside Lounge. This is Callus rocking out here on stage. They sound pretty awesome. It's a cool little chill joint.
It is definitely a cool place. It's very chill, as you said. I gotta give a shout out to Superbike, dude. I was loving what they were doing. I don't know if you caught anything.
Yeah, it was fantastic. They were rocking out.
First time seeing them, first time just hearing of them today, and I was really impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. Get a lot of energy up there.
Yeah, and I like it because it was different. They had a little pop punk, little bluesy even, so
yeah, a little bit of everything.
So I'm really impressed. Now, for you, since we are talking about music, I know we kind of touched on this last time with you listening to Brazilian jazz.
Yeah.
How important is it for musicians to listen to different styles of music?
Oh, it's super important. I grew up, loving rock music that was on the radio, like 3 Days Grace and Trapped and Papa Roach, all the bands that were hitting it big in the early mid 2000s. And that's what I grew up wanting to play because that's what I was into at the time. But then I started to branch out. When I took drum lessons, I started learning more jazz fusion stuff like Tower Power, David Garibaldi. I ended up getting some of his books and learning out of those. And, I love to listen to all different kinds of music, and it all shapes my playing in one way or another. Because I'll hear something that sounds good in a blues tune or a jazz tune or some Brazilian folk pop tune or whatever. And I'll be like, oh, I like that, and then I'll learn how to play it and incorporate it into whatever I'm doing, even if it's a rock song, So
are you able to give those different kind of styles of music, even for to incorporate that into rock music?
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I can just, even if it's as simple as a hi-hat pattern, just to kind of spice it up instead of a simple 4 on the floor groove, it's cool to just take little elements that you hear along the way, just in different genres of music, and you can just do whatever with them. There's no rules.
Though I think kind of people may not really realize that, but there is no rules in music. You can do really whatever you want, even incorporating different stuff into, even if you're just a rock band, but you can play some different stuff, incorporate some blues, even some, Brazilian jazz. It's infinite what you can do nowadays.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no boundaries, and I feel somebody posted something earlier today about how, there's tour packages out there where the headliner might be rock and the support acts might be country, or they might be some weird genre that may not match, but it's all music is music, and maybe you'll have the opportunity to branch out and experience something different.
Well, I didn't really grow up too much in the 90s. I was born in 97, so but I know when ska was huge, you'd see punk bands and a ska band open for them.
Yeah.
And so there's so many different combinations of music where it doesn't just have to be in one certain category or genre. As you said, you can have a country band open for a rock band. I know there's pop musicians touring with rock musicians and stuff. There's a whole lot of stuff that you can use and play with.
Absolutely.
Now, don't want to get stuck too much because I know we could talk about music a lot as we're both music lovers. So before we talk about Smile Empty Soul, because I know you just celebrated your 4-year anniversary with them, you got the opportunity to play with my good friend City of the Week.
That's right.
How was that, and how'd that come about?
That was a fun tour. I was sitting in the studio with Smile down in St. Louis, and we were recording the Loss of Everything EP, which is coming out October 3rd. And I was just sitting there, in between drum takes, we're listening back to one of the tracks, and I'm just kind of scrolling through on Facebook, and I saw that they were looking for a fill-in drummer for their summer tour. And I'm like, oh, this happens to line up. I was living in California still at the time. I just moved back to Chicago. But it worked out to where I was able to go to California and start getting my things together. And then, they're out of Phoenix. So I just drove to Phoenix to rehearse with them for the tour. And it ended up working out really well. They're such great people. We had a lot of great times. We partied at Incarceration, playing late at night in the campground, had some interesting times. It was great.
Yeah. And have you played? Was that your first tour with them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, they're really good people. I've interviewed Steph before, and all of them are so cool. I got to play pool with Rocky, who was drumming for them for a while.
Right on.
And he said he didn't play pool. He was suspiciously good, and then is it Cody or Brent? I forgot who told me this. He's like, yeah, he's been playing pool this whole time on tour.
Oh yeah, he was hustling.
Now, luckily, there's no money on the line. I was like, I'll play for fun. I'm not betting you any money. I'm smart enough for that.
Hell yeah.
Now, as I said, you celebrated your 4-year anniversary a few days ago.
Yeah.
With Smile Empty Soul. Now, when you first joined, can you believe it's already been 4 years?
It's like it flew by so fast. Like I feel like it was just yesterday. I was driving out to Iowa to play my first show, and I remember months before then just practicing my butt off, I'm ready for this. I can't wait. I can't believe this is actually happening. And yeah, it's been 4 years already. We've toured all over the States and played all kinds of awesome shows, and we got Blue Ridge Festival coming up again in 2 days, or not two more shows, I should say 4 days from now, out in Virginia. That's going to be a fun time. So yeah, it's been a hell of a ride so far.
It definitely has, and I can't for you. I know can't believe it's been 4 great years with Smile Empty Soul. What does the next 4 years look like?
I mean,
Don't mean to put you on the spot a little bit, but
oh, it's all good. I mean, I can't speak for that far ahead, but I know we've got no plans to stop anytime soon. We're still going to be working on new music. We'll probably get back in the studio next year, I would imagine, and start working on new stuff. And we've already got up to spring of next year planned out for touring, and then going to keep doing what we do.
And it's just so cool. Now, when did you transition to the 2-piece? Was that this year or last year?
That was the very beginning of last year, right when we first started touring again after COVID kind of came and messed everything up.
Messed up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But I know you touched on how you guys are a 2-piece. Was it for you any different from transitioning from a 3-piece to a 2-piece?
I mean, a little bit. The main thing is I get to be up close to the audience and interact a lot more, and I can kind of hear a little bit better. I actually recently started using in-ears as well, and having that, plus I only have one other bandmate to lock in with instead of 2. It just, everything feels a little bit tighter. I feel like every tour, Sean and I just get tighter and tighter as a unit, musically and a chemistry perspective on stage and all that. It's great. I love all the bass players we've played with. They're all good people, but I definitely don't miss having a bass player, if I'm being honest. I like the way we're doing it now.
And I haven't seen you guys before, so I'm very excited to see you guys. And to me, it's just so cool that you guys produce 100% of the music live. I think that's very important when you see a band live. There's great bands who use tracks. I'm not knocking that, but it's just cool to you experience the music live.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't even have a click track up there. It's all just raw in the moment. The energy of the room, kind of dictates what happens every night. And, it's just, it's fun. It keeps me on my toes as a musician too, because then it's I really have to concentrate on being tight every night. And, for Sean, he's got to wear a million hats at once, doing the guitar and bass. It's a lot of pedal work, and then he's got to sing on top of that. So, we're both kept on our toes every night, but
it definitely is. But I got to give a shout out to Sean, just the caliber musician he is too. As you said, he plays bass, he plays guitar, he's got to do all the different pedal stuff and sing on top of that.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I look forward to seeing that live.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's a fun time up there.
Now, we're Lakeside here at Elkhart, Indiana. A very unique place.
Yeah.
For you, What are some of the most unique venues you have performed at, and is this one of them?
Well, this is definitely one of them. I wasn't expecting to pull back here and have it just feel like, a backyard, just a party, everyone's having a good time. There's RVs parked out everywhere. This is definitely a unique one. We once played a venue in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, where our PA system was a karaoke machine. It had this little stage that was carved out, like the inside of the building just kind of looked. It was called the barn, so it kind of had like a barn feel inside. But yeah, it was a karaoke machine for a PA, so that was pretty unique.
That's definitely unique.
That before, yeah. There's been a lot. I've played so many places. They all kind of just meshed together after a while. But we had a lot of cool rooms. We played one in Wyoming on this tour, called the Gaslight Social. And I've
heard of that place. Yeah.
And in the green room, they actually had a whirlpool tub. I've never seen that before.
Did you try it out?
I took full advantage. Definitely took full advantage of that.
Oh, dude, that is cool. I might have to get out there. Like, I've heard of people talking about it, but if I'm ever in Wyoming, I gotta check that out, man.
Yeah, it was cool.
Now, as you said, you're playing Blue Ridge coming up very soon. Is there any kind of dream of the festivals or venues that you want to perform at?
Well, Blue Ridge in itself is kind of a dream lineup. Stone Temple Pilots is one of the headliners, and they've been one of my favorite bands since I was 2 years old. So and this is the second time that we've played with them. So just that alone, it's just one of those wow, is this really happening kind of moments. But I don't know. Honestly, I'd love to get back to the level where we're playing those kind of festivals often. And big shows. My dream has always been specifically. There's a amphitheater in Tinley Park, Illinois, called Hollywood Casino Amphitheater.
I've been there, yeah.
That's been my dream for many, many years. It's on my bucket list. One day I'll play it.
I hope you guys get there. It's a cool place. There's actually almost identical one. I think it's owned by the same company in Noblesville, Indiana, just outside of Indy. Those amphitheaters are they're so unique.
Absolutely.
I saw Hailstorm and Alice Cooper in Noblesville, and it sounds awesome. But just that whole aesthetic of it looks badass.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen some of my favorite concerts at the Tinley Park Amphitheater. I saw Rush there a couple times. I've seen Black Sabbath, Motley Crue, Def Leppard. There's too many to count. I've been to so many concerts there and festivals. But
did you see Motley Crue on the final tour there?
I did not.
Oh, okay, I was at that one. I was at the Tinley Park one. So
how was it, if I may ask?
It was musically it sounded great.
Okay.
Vince Neil was a little Vince Neil, but
I've been hearing.
Also, that was 2014 or 15. I don't remember when. It was cool because I'm a huge Alice Cooper fan. So to see Alice Cooper open up for Motley Crue, I was I gotta see this. This is.
Oh yeah.
How many people say Alice Cooper opened up for somebody?
Right.
In 2014.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But overall, it's great. Mick Mars, fantastic guitarist. Love seeing him live. Just the way he works. I know he's even with his physical. Not physical kind of issues. He was still an amazing guitar player.
Oh, absolutely. He still got it.
Oh, definitely. So I haven't seen them live when they came back, but I think they're probably still pretty good. Maybe hopefully Vince Neil would be at the caliber, but I don't know.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, before we start talking, because I know about Smile Empty Soul and the new single, A Storm, which was released recently, and the new music you guys are working on, I got a fun game show that I did on a fire escape in Chicago during Moto Blot. My friend Nikki got 4 out of 5. So, the bar has been set.
Okay.
Now, the rule is very simple. I'm going to give you a news article headline. You have to tell me if it's real or from The Onion.
Okay. This will be fun.
It should be. This is one of my favorite game shows to play. I've only played this is my second time, but I had so much fun looking for these. And I got a cool story after the game show about how I found one of these.
Okay, cool.
All right, so the first one, I try to keep with some of these music related. So, elderly men escape nursing home to attend Wacken Open Air Festival.
Ooh, I think that's a real one.
Off to a great start, 1 for 1. That is totally real. Actually, I saw that when it actually happened too. But come on, that's metal as hell. Come on.
It is. I feel like that's something I would do if I was old and dying in a hospital and there was some festival I want to go to. I'm get this stuff off me.
Especially Wacken Open Air in Germany. Come on. I would love to go there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you're off to a great start. All right, this is a fun one. We'll see if you get it. So CIA realizes they've been using black highlighters on important documents for years.
I think that's an Onion.
It is from The Onion. I don't think they're ever going to admit that. All right. This is another good one. All right, so pilot threatened to turn plane around if passengers didn't stop exchanging nudes.
He threatened to turn plane around if they didn't stop exchanging. Oh man, that's gotta be The Onion, right?
No, that is 100% real.
Really?
It just happened this week.
That's how does the pilot even see what the passengers are doing though?
And like, how is it a problem? Like, I don't know how that becomes such a huge problem.
Right.
And how do you get someone's phone number? Like, seriously.
That's crazy. Sending nudes is such a security threat.
Well, how are you, like, aren't you not supposed to use your phone, like, on a plane?
Like while it's, like, taking off and landing, you're supposed to be on airplane mode.
Yeah.
But.
So, I don't know. I didn't read the full article. I saw that headline, and I was like, I gotta use this.
Wow, you got me.
2 for 3. All right, number 4. World death rate holding steady at 100%.
Onion.
Very good, back on track.
Yeah.
3 for 4. All right, last one. Thief cuts victim's grass before stealing lawnmower.
Oh my God. I feel like that's something that would actually happen.
You're right. You're 4 for 5.
Cool.
Very good. Bars holding steady, 4 for 5.
All right.
So, funny story real quick. So I wanted to bring this game show back, but I was like, who would be a good guest? And I was like, Ty would be a great guest for this. And I was looking on fun websites trying to get the articles, and I was like, none of these are really hitting me. And then I scroll on Facebook for 15 seconds, and I find the exchanging nudes one. It was from my local news station, and I was like, because I follow them, and I was like, this is a sign I need to bring this game show back.
Wow. It's a great one, because honestly, like with some of these news articles you see these days, you never tell.
Exactly. I did like the thief cutting grass. Like, he was very courteous before he ripped you off. You know, they stole your lawnmower. You'd be like, I don't need to cut my grass now. I just need to buy a new lawnmower.
Yeah.
All right, real quick as I'm wrapping up this interview. So, A Storm released very recently. Some of the new music, as you said, you have more new music on the way. What can people expect from this set of music from Smile Empty Soul?
I mean, it's really raw and to the point. We tracked a couple of different songs. You know, they've all got a different vibe to them. The Storm is Coming is definitely one that's a little more mellow. It's got a piano track on it. That one was fun because it was originally going to have a programmed drum beat, but then we decided to get like some cymbal samples just to have them just in case. And so I go to hit my cymbals, and then the engineer's like, hey, go in there and just maybe play a beat and let's just see what happens. And so I laid down a beat, and we ended up just deciding to roll with real drums on it. So, you know, I got to...
I think that's always cool. Like, obviously the programming stuff is obviously, I mean, it's a little bit easier to get a better, sound sometimes depending on who you're working with. Is it cooler for you to like actually record everything that's like in a song?
Yeah, like
your parts at least.
I always love laying down a live drum track. You know, like programmed drums can be cool. Like sometimes you're going for more of like maybe like a electronic kind of vibe, or like a lo-fi kind of more like chill, like mellow vibe. Like it'd be cool to throw like some kind of more mellow kicks in there and get creative, you know?
Oh yeah, as we talked about at the beginning of this interview as well, obviously you could be creative with it and just see how it goes. It's music, it's supposed to be fun, people.
Absolutely.
And as for you, do you mentally prepare differently for like a live show like tonight compared to recording in the studio?
I mean, it's ultimately kind of the same. Like I have a routine that I do where like I'll do a bunch of stretches beforehand, like probably about 15 minutes or so before I get busy, just to loosen up and make sure I'm feeling flexible and all that. I try to stay hydrated. That's always important.
Very important.
I'm not very great at it all the time, but I try. No, but like, I don't know. I just a couple weeks before a tour or before a session, I'll just put everything on a Spotify playlist. Like if I'm practicing for tour, or if it's like the new stuff for the studio, I'll have like the files and all that. And yeah, I'll just run them for about a couple weeks or so on my home kit, and I'll play them with the playlist, and then I'll take the playlist away and just play everything from memory, like without a click track, without any kind of backing or anything, just to make sure that I remember it and that I can keep a solid groove without anything holding me in there. So
that's pretty badass regimen to do, like to learn it and then play it without it. Like obviously that's what you do, kind of with the live stuff too, is because you're not on a click.
Right.
Does that feel for you? Like, is that a better feel for you doing that?
Absolutely, yeah. Because then I can learn to trust my internal clock, and then when I'm up there, I can listen to Sean and like where he's singing, like, and where his natural instinct is for the groove, and then we kind of just lock in with each other. And once we're at that point where we feel locked in, it's just it's a piece of cake from there.
Definitely. And I don't want to take too much of your time because obviously I know you got to prepare. I look forward to seeing you guys live. Last thing before we go. Now, I don't believe I asked you this in our last interview. I don't believe so. Please correct me if we did.
Okay.
Since you are celebrating your 4-year anniversary with Smile Up Your Soul, what has been your favorite moment so far?
My favorite moment so far. Oh,
okay,
man.
I did not ask you because I think you would have recognized it. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, I've had a lot of great moments on this tour. I think for me, like, just one is like I said, we're playing Blue Ridge in a few days. Blue Ridge 3 years ago in 2019 when we played, just getting off that stage, feeling like I played a great show and just kind of having fun and enjoying the festival. And then I was backstage and the guys from Stone Temple Pilots were just hanging out and, getting to approach these guys who were like some of my favorite musicians since I was 2 and just be like, hey, I just wanted to say, thank you guys for what you do. Like, you guys have been a big influence. And them just seeming super appreciative and just being like, oh, thank you, man. Like, and just, getting to shake their hands and all that. That was a pretty cool experience. Like, I never thought in a million years I'd ever get to do anything like that.
That definitely sounds like, and I know obviously you're pumped you're going to be performing, with them at Blue Ridge again. So
absolutely. It's
just so cool. Like, the people you grew up listening to, like, you actually get to meet in person and, for how big an influence they were to actually talk to them and tell them. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. And then, I'm getting to meet fans every night, new people, and, people coming up and telling us how much they appreciate our music, and, we appreciate them for coming out. So it's a two-way street, and, it's just a cool feeling,
It definitely is, and definitely a two-way street. Obviously you're thankful for people showing up, and there's people who your music is really connected with them, and they're thankful for that too. It's just so cool, just the connection with music.
Absolutely. It's one of the greatest things.
And I think that's a great way to sum it up. So, Tidal Rose, thank you. That's all I got is thank you.
Thanks for having me again, man. This was a good time.
Of course, it was so cool to actually get to meet you in person. I look forward to seeing you guys live. It's gonna be a fun party tonight.
Absolutely, it sure is.
So for Tidal Rose of Smile Empty Soul, I'm your host as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.
That's right.